My name is Jeremy Risher. I'm from a tiny little town in Pennsylvania. I always knew, growing up, better men and women than me fought and died so I could be anything I wanted. So what a better way to honor them than to join the military, right? So after high school, I went off on my way. I did my 6-year commitment, and it was time to get out. I left September 1st. I signed out. The planes hit the towers 10 days later. I went back and did 5 more years. I picked combat jobs because this just seemed like the way to go for me. Being in Iraq and doing the war thing, I knew what I was getting into when I went. It was as advertised. You see a lot of movies, you see things that happens. You understand there's going to be pros and cons. Things you don't necessarily want to happen are going to happen, but it's just kind of sort of the price. The country was built on the blood of the brave men and women who did it before me. I left and went a little crazy for a while, partied a lot, met my wife, got married, and everything was great, kind of calmed me down a little bit. We had our first daughter at whenever she was 5. She developed bone cancer and spent a year in the hospital and lost a leg. To me, being somebody who knew what war was or what war was supposed to be, it was that part was to me harder than combat. Like, I had a general idea what to expect there. It was something I volunteered to do, but having that happen to my daughter was something that no parent can prepare for. I have an older daughter through a previous marriage, and I missed a lot of her life because of what I chose to do. And then I was going to have my second daughter pretty much ripped out of my life, and I took it pretty hard for a while. I spent a lot of time drinking. It took a lot to get me to realize there's got to be a better way. And she was healthy, and she is healthy still, but where I wasn't being the man that she needed me to be. So I'm looking for ways to be better, to do better for her, for my wife, for my family. Like, just, with the military, you're not accustomed to not being the best, to not doing something for somebody else. So it was really hard. We went to a Memorial Day concert, and we talked to the people from the foundation, and they gave us a little bit of help, what they could do to help. And it was, one of those things where it's like, do I really want to leave and leave my family? I can do this on my own. You can't stop me. I've done everything else up to this point by myself. So why not do this? It's, I can do anything I want to do. And it took a lot of encouragement from my wife, from my daughter. It's like, you can do it. Go away, get what you need. You're a little apprehensive. I've talked to therapists in the past. It doesn't, they don't. If you've never been there, you can't understand. In the cancer world, in this world, it's people who know will never ask, and people who ask will never know. So, we landed, and, there were a couple guys coming into the town on the same plane as me, and we met at the airport and had breakfast, did whatever, waited for our next flight. And it's like right away, never met these guys, but we all come from a similar place. We've been through similar things. And it's, a kinship, a camaraderie that only the military or, something like that can give you. So to be with people who have a similar mindset to you, who wrote that blank check, who did what they could do to be, to help somebody else. Automatically, just even before we got here, you meet all these people, and it's like we've all been together for years. There's nothing you can say or do. It's laughs, it's jokes, it's just a good time right off the bat. Then you start getting into the program, and you realize, this is something different. What's happening here is it's something that you haven't been a part of before. It's almost equally as much the people who are here with you in the program as it is the people in the program. Just to be around your brothers. It's something you can't really put into words. I'd have to, just 6 days we're here. It's definitely gone home a better guy than I was when I got here. So it was a blessing for real that I got to be a part of it. And I don't- it's definitely a life-changing experience. So all those thoughts of, can I do it or whatever, now you have the actual tools to help you to do it. It helps you have the ability and the capability. It's all up to you now, but everything's there. It's laid out. You have the program. You know what to do. You have a support system of even more people you can talk to who have been where you are and who want to help you as much as they want to be helped. So it's just, you can't put it into words. So I'm greatly appreciative. Thank you to everybody who's helped and who will help in the future. You have no understanding of the good you're doing and the lives you're changing for the better. Thank you.
Dude, I'll be honest with you, man. I was not expecting that level of concisive and professional, not even professionalism, because you don't do this for a living. You lived it, and you hit as a guy that is the radio, everything like that. If I was interviewing you, I probably would mark this down as like a top 5 where I didn't have to say a damn thing and you brought everything with you. That was awesome, man. That was fantastic.
Do you mind if I ask you a question?
Go.
So, your wife and your daughter, or daughters, probably know you better than any other humans on the planet.
They do.
Other than possibly your comrades, the feel of the cloth. I don't know the German word I need, but that's the relationship we have. We know if we're all out there, we're going to save each other's lives with the people that know you best. They knew you before you came here, and they're going to get you back. What do you think they would describe?
It's
maybe a month from now.
It's just it sounds simple, but just the ability to be there. It doesn't sound like much. Be there. There were times we'd go places and we'd do things like, my family's moved a lot just for jobs, for work, for, to make a living, to do what's best for them overall. We've been to multiple states. We've lived around. My daughter's 14. She's lived in 5 different states. So it's and whenever she was young and I was drinking, it might have been a coping mechanism. I could, but, get up, you don't feel the best, but you're there, you're experiencing it. And then when she got sick, it's a whole different kind of trauma, and but not one I was mentally capable to deal with. So, after she's out of the hospital, I'm grateful. It's awesome, amazing. But then you just look back at all the things you couldn't do. In the military, you're designed to find and eliminate threats, go on to the next, continue with the mission. When it's your kid and something you're not trained for, there's no way to know what's next. You have to trust somebody you've never met. In combat, you're trusting people you've been with for years at times. They know what to do. You've seen them react, and we've been through the same training. I know if something happens, I know exactly what they're going to do. They know exactly what I'm going to do the whole time. To give your daughter to somebody who's been out, and it really messed me up to where we'd go to Disney. We're from Florida. We go to Disney. And, they'd be like, oh, this is great, and we're doing this. And I'd have to just sit and just take, it's like I was there physically, but I wasn't there mentally. And just to get me back mentally is going to be something huge. Just, you don't think about it, but from if you look at your childhood and you see all those positive interactions with your parents, and, my wife and daughter were both kind of missing something. So to get me back mentally as well as physically is going to be, Christmas came early this year. That's it.
That's wonderful. Do you think you might come back with your wife?
I think it would be great. Just, I met my wife after the military. So to have her be around some other military spouses, we live in a Navy town, so, it's a lot of pilots and people who don't actually, go on the ground and do combat. But we have a lot of friends in the cancer community, and we try to give back as much as we can there. Yeah. And she's been through that battle, but to have it compounded on the other stuff, you can only fill that hole and push things down so much until your proverbial trash chute is full and stuff has to flow over.
She might have a little PTS herself.
I'm sure she does, and I'm sure she could, from seeing the changes some of the therapies have done with me in the first time, that first half hour, how much it, can make a positive impact and help you to let go of something and tell you, you can take that off your back it's going to be great. And I mean, I want to share it with her, and if she can do it, it's just even better. We can go back to being carefree and live every day for the blessing that it is.
Yeah. Life is hard, but there's no point suffering anymore.
There's, all the things I've been through in my life, I always say, if anybody asks, life is good.
Yeah.
I woke up alive indoors. My family's healthy. I have a life, a lot of people would just kill to have or dream of.
Yeah.
I have a nice house. I have, my car. I have my kids. We have everything you could possibly want. And, I mean, we're truly blessed. But it's all about perspective and, to be able to see it.
I hope we've made a difference. I hope
It's
you've got a support system, a bunch of brothers and sisters out there that you haven't met, but they're all part of this whole thing.
It's awesome just to be around people with a similar mindset. Coming from somebody who's not been military like you. She talks to you. She's like, "Do you always have to make a comment like that?" And I'm like, and she's like, "What's it like being there?" I'm like, "Imagine 14 of me, all doing the same thing." She's like, "Oh my God, I can't even imagine." So it's great, and it warms your heart from that side, just to be around people that are have the exact same mindset as you, the quick wit, the humor. That's all people who have been through these things have a similar way of coping. So it's great to help people and try to lift them up as much as they lift me up. And like I said, it's a blessing, and just thank you.
It's beautiful. Thank you.
I appreciate it. And you can get a sweet